Oh, printing all that stuff out? Yeah, that stupid printing is not reliable.
Yeah. All right, welcome to Heart Academy for my GEC pre-algebra and algebra class. Hey guys, how you doing? Okay, so today's homework was multiplying fractions. That's going to be with mixed numbers or regular fractions or anything else that we have on this page. Oh, and with whole numbers. In class, I do believe we went through questions 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to do, I'm going to give about 6 questions or until I get bored and just want to shut the video down. All right, here we go. So I'm going to start with question number 4. Question number 4, we have 2 mixed numbers. Remember, the important thing here is to change the mixed numbers into improper fractions before we begin multiplying, right? So I'm going to change this 2 1/6 and 1 1/2 into improper fractions. We do that by multiplying the whole number with the denominator. So I have 2 times 6. 2 times 6 is 12. Add the numerator. So really you're looking at 12 plus 1. 12 plus 1 is 13. And then you're going to keep the same denominator. So really, that's going to be 13 over 6. Let's do the same thing to the second fraction. I have my whole number 1 and my denominator of 2. 1 times 2 is 2, plus the numerator. So now I have 2 plus 1, which is 3. And keeping the same denominator. So when I change these around, this is what I have. I have 13 over 6 times 3 over 2. Now remember, just like I showed you in class, I like to reduce first. And I reduce by looking diagonally before I go straight across numerator to numerator, denominator to denominator to multiply. This is what I mean by that. So I'm going to look diagonally. If I look diagonally, I see the 6 and the 3 this way. And in my head, this is what I'm looking at. And I will know that the 3 and the 6 can reduce. How? 3 will go into itself 1 time. And 3 will go into 6 2 times. So I just changed that to a 1 and changed that to a 2. Now my fraction really looks like 13 over 2 times 1 over 2. I can also look the other way diagonally, this way, to see if that 2 and that 13 will reduce. I already know for sure that 2 and 13 will not reduce, so I will leave that one alone. And now that you've done all your reducing, you simply multiply straight across. If I multiply straight across, I have 13 times 1, which is 13. And then a 2 times 2, which is 4. Now, our fraction is 13 over 4, which you know is an improper fraction, and you don't want to leave improper fractions as a final answer. You must change it to a mixed number. The mixed number homework from the other night is the reason why I gave you that practice, because now you can take that 13 over 4 and change it into a mixed number. So let's go back. So this was 13 over 4. Wow. Close enough. And then what we're going to do is divide in order to create a mixed number. 4, we're going to 13 3 times, because 3 times 4 is 12. You subtract, you have 1 left over, right? These are the 3 players that you need in order to create your mixed number. The 3 on top of the house becomes your whole number. The remainder becomes your new numerator. Outside of the house is still your denominator. So that 13 over 4 is really going to convert into 3 1/4 as your final answer. And that will be our final answer for number 4. And you know what? I'm going to go straight across to this number 8 right over here that I see. Okay? So this number 8, I have 34 times 2 and 3/17. So remember, the first thing that we're going to do is change any whole number into a fraction simply by putting a 1 underneath it. Okay? So then we're going to change this mixed number into a fraction, into an improper fraction. And we do that by multiplying the whole number with the denominator. So you have 2 times 17, which is 34. Add the numerator. So 34, 35, 36, 37. So I have 37 over 17. Bring this back over to the front. 34 over 1. There you go. And so now I'm going to look diagonally to see if I can reduce. If I look diagonally this way, I have a 1 and a 37. Remember what I said, if you have a 1 with your number, it's already reduced as low as it can go, leave it alone. So look the other way instead. So I'm looking the other way and I have a 17 and a 34, right? So now I know to see if I can reduce this, okay? Now I do happen to know that those are multiples of each other. And so what I'm going to do is divide by 17. 17 will go in itself 1 time. 17 will go into 34 2 times. I can now multiply straight across. I'm looking at 2 times 37. 2 times 37. That gives me 74. 1 times the 1 is 1. So as you can tell, my full answer is going to be 74. That was for number 8. Let's pick out another one to do. Okay, might as well keep going straight across, right? Right. Now, look at number 12. Doesn't number 12 scare you a little bit? Don't worry, my friend. It's all good. You know, with a side of bacon. Give me a second. I just made myself thirsty. All right, here we go. So now I'm going to have these two mixed numbers. I'm going to work with these two first, and then I'm going to add this one into it, or multiply this one into it. So first changing these into impropers. 3 times 5 is 15 plus 1 is 16. Right? Who's that, student? And then 1 times 6 is 6 plus 7, or 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I have 11 over 6 here. Okay, Dr. Turner. All right, Dr. Turner just came in, so y'all just hold on for a second.
So much for the music.
I'll say, sorry for that, going back to this over here. I know Dr. Turner was just here, and I had a great conversation with her. So now I'm continuing to where we were. So we changed the 3 and 1/5 into 16 over 5, and the 1 and 5 6 over into 11 over 6. All right, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, great. So now what we're going to do is work these out first. Remember, I'm going to look diagonally to see if I can reduce this way. I got a 5 and an 11. I know that's not going to reduce. If you weren't sure, remember you can always use the multiplication chart to help you figure out if that will reduce. Now I'm going to look this way. I have a 6 and a 16. Now, I think both of these will reduce because, or at least they're both even numbers, right? So I know I can reduce them by 2. So what I'm going to do is at least divide both numbers by 2 and see what we come up with. If I have 6 divided by 2, that's going to change to a 3. Okay, make this a better 3. See that? Right? And then a 2 divided by a 16, that's going to be 8. Okay, and that is not going to reduce any more than that. So then I will multiply straight across. 8 times 11, which would be 88. 5 times 3 is 15. So as you can see, I have 88 over 15 here. 88 over 15. Okay, and then I'm going to bring this third one back in, which was the 3 over 8. So what I'm going to do now is look diagonally again to see if I can reduce, and I can. See this? They're multiples of each other. 3 will go into itself 1 time. 3 goes into 15 5 times, right? These are multiples of each other too. 8 will go into itself 1 time. 8 goes into 88 11 times. Now multiplying straight across, I have 11 times 1, which is 11. 5 times 1, which is 5. Okay? So here we go. 5. We'll go into 11, because remember, you can't leave it as an improper fraction. You're going to have to kick it over and divide, right? So I'm going to first see how many 5 times 5 will go into 11. I know it's going to be at least 2 times. Go 2 times 5 is 10. Subtract, I have 1 left over, leaving my 3 main players as for an answer. So I have 2 and 1/5 as my final answer, number 12. Okay? Hopefully you were able to follow that. And if not, you're going to have to hit rewind and do something. You can also ask me again in the morning saying, Miss Hart, I have no idea what you did for the homework last night when you were trying to explain number 12. Now, here's a cool part too. I also like to think that if you're listening to what I'm doing, right, and not just copying answers that you see, right, what I want you to do, these are going to be the people who are actually listening to what I'm saying, is write by your name up here, okay? Put a heart right by your name up here. What that's going to do is give you 10 extra dojo points to help you earn that 100 points for a free homework pass. Let's see how many people do that. So I'm going to now move on to number 7, okay? I'm going to first change to an improper. 3 times 8 is 24. Plus 3, 24, 25, 26, 27. So that's going to be 27 over 8. 2 times 9 is 18, 19, 20. And I got 20 over 9. Okay? So let's see. 9 times 2 is 18, 19, 20. Yep, we're good. And then 24, 5 times 6, we're good. Looking diagonally to see if I can reduce. And ooh, I can. I can reduce diagonally going this way because they're 2 even numbers. So I can at least reduce it by 2. 2 goes into 8 4 times. 2 goes into 20 5 times, right? Now, if I notice here, can the 9 and the 27 reduce? Remember, if you're not sure, you can always use the chart. If you see if you can find a row that has a 9 and a 27 in it. Now, I know for sure that you will find it at least in the 3s. You know why? Or the 9s. 9 will go into itself 1 time. 9 will go into 27 3 times, because 9 times 3 is 27. Now I'm going to multiply straight across. 3 times 5 is 15. 4 times 1 is 4. Okay? Remember, can't leave it this way. You got to change it to a division, because you can't leave it as an improper top-heavy fraction. 4 goes into 15. Let's see, 4 goes into 15. 4, it has to be 3. That's 12. I'm going to subtract 12, 13, 14, 15, leave me 3 left over. These are the 3 players you need to make your mixed number. 3 whole number, 3 numerator. Oops. There we go. 4 outside number. So 3 and 3/4 for number 7. All right? I'm going to go over and do one more for you, and that's going to be number 11. Okay, so if I'm looking at number 11, there we go. Okay, so remember what I'm going to do first is the first 2 fractions. So the first 2 fractions are 18 over 1 times 1 and 3/7. Let's change this to a mixed number. All right, so I got 18 over 1, right, times 1 times 7 is 7, plus 3 is 10. 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 10 over 7. I'm going to look diagonally to see if I can reduce. The 1 and 10 will not reduce. The 7 and the 18 aren't going to reduce either. So let's just multiply straight across. I have 18 times 10, which is 180. Yep, come on in. Come on in. Oh, it's locked. Never mind, I'm coming.
Hey, what's up? What's going on, girl? How's it going? You like yourself locked up in here. Come in and check in on you.
Yeah.
How the algebra 1 class? My boy came in, Ivory.
Oh, have I seen a person yet?
No, he didn't. He know what? No, he came late. He missed the class. He'll be here
Oh.
tomorrow.